well down in our heart. This is the day that God has given us. Let us rejoice and be glad that we're in it. We're glad to have the online people. We have a really good online congregation. We keep getting emails from them, and so just keep sending us the emails so we know that you're out there. And we'd like to welcome our congregation here. Say God loves you, so do we. Give your neighbor a hug and tell them that you're glad to see them. I won't reach around, but I'm glad you're here. Good morning. Opening prayer, please. Heavenly Father, we thank you for allowing us to have this energy every Sunday morning to come out and serve you to the highest and the best that is in our heart. May we take this energy, this love that comes through us and take it to each person we meet throughout the week. Amen. Be seated, please. Well, this is really good that we've got a great turnout. We've got, I think, all my mitts except the one that's up in Ravenby. I want to say Ravenby. And she's watching online, and she joins us that way. And I'd like to welcome my mitts, which is Derrick Whiteskycloud, and we have Lynn White, and also our coordinator of our volunteers as well, Maureen Lum. They are our ministers that are in training, and I'm so glad to have them back this week, because last week I had no covers on my hands, but my mitts were all away. And so while the mitts were away, the cat played and did it by herself. This week, though, we have a wonderful speaker, and Jeannie Martin. Reverend Jeannie Martin was one of the people that I was ordained with, and so we have a very special feeling for one another, and we're so glad to have Jeannie come and speak with us today. Jeannie has had a tremendous amount of experience as a minister and teacher over a number of years, and also now has just qualified in hypnotherapy and does a lot of that right now to help people get that peace inside themselves and solve out the problems that are inside, bring them to the outside where they don't seem to be so big. So that's so wonderful that Jeannie's there doing service in the White Rock area. They're living here now, she and Clive. So that's really great. And we'll talk to Jeannie a little later. We'd like to make sure that you know at the back of your songbook there are our principles, and one of them is the ABBA. It means that we acknowledge, we validate, and appreciate all the people who come out every Sunday, come out all the other days to help us with our volunteers getting things going here. Every Sunday it miraculously gets put together, and then Sunday after service, miraculously all gets put away. So thanks to everybody who does that and brings the cookies. And of course, we have Winston who brings us some flowers for our rostrum, just kind of a little bit from everybody. So we're so glad that you're here. I'd like you to go into number 37, I believe, and I believe is what we're going to sing. It's not what's in your folder. Some person that was doing this goof this Sunday, this week. So just believe what I tell you, not what you see. Okay. All right. Everybody stand. Thank you, Jean. That's a wonderful piece of music. And it is challenging for us, particularly older ones that have lost our ringing. We used to have maybe 1.5 octaves. Now if I got a half octave, I'm fine. And most of that's in the cracks. So what can we say? But we know that God hears it with a cheerful mind, and glory to Him that He does love us and takes that music from our heart. I'd like to now ask upon Jeannie, Reverend Jeannie Martin. Would you like to come up and give us your address, please? That's well.
Well, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Great. I'm always so happy to come here and share your Sunday morning with you and be in beautiful, is it still White Rock out here?
Yes.
Ah,
Beautiful way. Kind of Surrey.
and it's true, there is more sunshine here. Way more sunshine. Well, as I was trying to contemplate what I would talk to you about this morning, my mind went in all different directions and thought, well, maybe I should pick a topic of this or that. But what I did do is I had a habit of always checking in with myself and saying, how am I doing now? Because I feel that if I didn't do that, I'd still be way back there somewhere. Because life just changes, doesn't it? There's a big flow going on, and it's a good thing to touch base with ourselves every once in a while and see just where we're at. So what I did, I made a little list here of what God did not tell me or wouldn't let me remember before I came to planet Earth that would have made it a lot easier to be spiritual and human. A lot of people would say that we have soul agreements before we come here. We agree to come together and have certain experiences, and our roles might change. And I think that's a pretty neat thought, because it always seems to be such a coincidence that some of us keep crossing each other's paths all the time. I have some really wonderful friends out here this morning, and it's lovely to see them, and I know that deep in my heart, there's a reason why we're together. There's always a reason. So anyway, back to what God didn't tell me before I got here. Number one, life is always changing. Don't try to control it. How on earth can we control anything? We know deep inside it is a flow. So every time I try to control something and I think, well, I've got it now, something else comes along and changes the dynamics. I've spent so many years trying to control things that now I think I know that if God had told me, don't try, it'll always change, would have made it a lot easier. Secondly, don't be critical about how other people live their lives. I was given one, and it's been a challenge enough to stay on my own path and to stay as centered and balanced as I possibly can as life flows. So it definitely is not my job to tell other people what they should be or should not be doing. Number three, don't waste precious moments living in the past. You know, the past needs to be honored, good, bad, or indifferent, because it brought us right here, right now, in this beautiful moment together. Excuse me. So every time I think about the past, or wish it should have, could have, would have been something else, I have just wasted this beautiful, precious moment of now. And I don't know how many of you are keeping in touch with Oprah Winfrey and Eckhart Tolle. They're having a 10-week online course on staying in the moment and bringing out the highest and the best within you. And it truly is real that this is the moment. There is only now. And that now carries with us eternally. don't have an opinion on everything. Just because someone says something to me doesn't mean I have to have a response. I don't have to judge it. I don't have to do anything with it. And in fact, in most cases, it's better to just listen and give other people an opportunity to share with me who they are and what their journey is all about. It's not what I say, it's how I say it. And I think we've all probably had situations where we said things in a certain way and we go, oh, I wish I hadn't done that. And I think that if God had let me know and remember before I got here about that one, I would have spent a whole lot less time apologizing or re-looking at things that I said before I thought. So it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And if we all look at each other and give each other the opportunity to know that we're all gods, we're all spirits having this very challenging, sometimes human experience, we'll honor that challenge in each other and support each other. Keep track of my own feelings. If God had told me, keep track of yourself and check in on yourself. How are you feeling? Then I would know for sure that every time I get spinning out of control, it's something I need to look at within my own self. Maybe it's ego, maybe it's fear, maybe it's so many different things that it could be, but I know for sure now that when I'm spinning out of control, I need to get in touch with how I feel. How am I feeling? Another good lesson and another good memory would have been to respect that each other soul and human being has a right to their own journey. It is their journey. And I am not here to try to get that journey to be anything else by hoping that that journey and that journey will fit in with mine and therefore validate mine. You see what I'm saying? Everybody has a journey, and it is incredibly valuable. It is a spiritual experience, no matter what's taking place. Don't argue or preach about what other people should believe. Doctrine and dogma is the end of growth. If we ever get to a place where we think, this is it, it stops there, doesn't it? Where can it go from there? Now, when we adopt a doctrine of absolutes, we come to a dead end. And from that point on, we would spend the rest of eternity staying within the box and making darn sure we stay within the lines. That's not what life is about. And that's certainly not what eternity is about. We're touching only the tip of the iceberg here of what is possible and what is the potential for each one of our souls. Here's a good one I should have known. Lighten up. My goodness. Most of the stress and the strain that I experience is going on in my head. Because I can walk out the door after our church time this morning, and there's a perfect, beautiful world out there happening. If I walk into it with an attitude of, oh, what a drag this is, the sun's not shining, got enough money in the bank today, all of the things, got to do this, well, don't I then take my vibration out into that world and attract everything that agrees with it? That's physics. That's science. What we bring out there into that movie reflects exactly back to us. So lighten up. Let go of things that no longer serve me. Unhook. Release. Move on. Be in the now and be fully in the now. Belief equals reality. You can be sure. And you will find out the more you go along in life that whatever you believe is absolutely true. And it can be anything. Because this wonderful, wonderful place called Earth, this experience is completely geared to give us exactly what we believe in our deepest part of our hearts. Not necessarily what we say, and not necessarily what we do, but what we truly, truly believe we will see in our own worlds, in our own lives. So belief equals reality. The hardest one, and yet I would think it seems like the easiest one. Be myself. I don't know about you, but I've spent a good deal of my life trying to be something for someone else. Trying to live up to someone else's ideas and ideals so that I can be accepted or loved or valued or kept in the loop. Whatever that means to each one of us. And to be myself sometimes is very difficult because I have emotions. And sometimes I don't like how those emotions bubble up in the moment. And I could say, well, that's just me. I'm going to do it my way. That's not what I'm saying here. Because deep within myself, I don't want to act that way. I'm reacting to something. I'm not being myself. I'm out there somewhere. Because the self inside of here is the exact self that you've got inside of you. Perfect. Vibrating love at the highest degree. Wanting to love and be loved, and part of the human experience. We're all equal that way. We are all exactly equal that way. So it's valuable if you be yourself. And it doesn't matter if Joe or Sally doesn't like you the way you are. You are here to manifest, and I am here to manifest the highest and the best that we can do in any given moment of our lives. And sometimes it's not a lot, because stuff is happening and we have to deal with it. But we can rise up once again and be who we are in every experience. Be clear. Get clear. If I'd have known that, whoa, things would have been a little different. Not that I'm wishing that I wasn't here this moment, and not that I'm not blessing every single moment that happened up till now. But I know for me, I spent a lot of my life unclear. And I ask people all the time when they are challenged with what's going on in their life, well, what is it that you do, that you want? They go, oh, I really hadn't thought about that. I don't know. And my husband's always got a good reply to that. Well, if you did know, what would it be? As soon as you ask that question, dig a little deeper, and you do know. You do know. Life isn't like a pinball machine. You whack off the different walls and ping-pong around the machine trying to find what fits. Get clear in the beginning. And reserve the right to change your mind. Because if you get on track, and I've said before, the 3 aspects of creating reality is passion, you've got to want it. Vision, you've got to believe it and be clear where you're going. And then focus on what you're doing. Stay focused. Don't flip out and spin out. So being clear is really good, because if we send out mixed messages to the universe, we absolutely get mixed results, don't we? Yeah. Here's a big one, and it's been challenging. To make a decision in life to follow a spiritual path. Well, those of us that are here this morning know that as fluffy as that sounds, it's not that easy. And it wasn't meant to be easy, because this is the challenge that we meet. It is the part where we dig deep inside of ourselves and bring out the highest we have in the moment with what we're faced with. Mixed messages are mixed results, for sure. Spirituality, there's a lot of people, in fact, I don't know if you're the same, most of the people in my world do not go to church. And they've chosen to do that. Do I think that their life is any different than mine? Not really. Because there are things that they truly do value and love. There are people that they value and love, and they're out there doing a good job and challenged with the same challenges I am. But once I say I'm on a spiritual path, I've raised the bar for me. Spirituality is taking the high road in all challenges. And ask yourself, I ask myself, what's the best and the highest I can do in this very moment? Here's an example. The other day, a dear friend of mine was expecting relatives to come from Australia. And there was a great build-up for that, and she was really excited. They had never met each other, and it was just lovely that everybody was coming together for this 6-week trip. And then they arrived. Day one, they got in a fight. She was incredibly upset. She said, oh my God, I cannot stay with these people for the next 6 weeks. We've already had an argument. I don't like so-and-so's wife. What am I going to do? And she said, I've done everything to prepare for this trip. She was so excited. And so, on the other side of the coin, she was very disappointed. So we had a little talk about it. We talked about this idea of spiritual, how do you bring spiritual solutions into situations like that? Well, all you can do is try to reach within yourself and grasp onto the highest and the best that you can do in that moment. And then I saw her the next day. She was ecstatic. She said, I cannot believe the 180-degree shift in what's happening at my house. I said, oh my goodness, what did you do? She said, every time so-and-so's wife started talking to me like that, I looked right in her face and pretended she was God. And she said, all day long, I just went, isn't that lovely? And she said, I held on to that energy. And she said, by the end of that day, I watched that woman shift completely into a different direction. I was talking to a different level of her. And that really is meaningful in this world that we live in. If there's nothing you can figure out here to say, if there's nothing that you know how to do, you can reach in yourself and bring yourself higher and see the God in that person and address that God, and guess what? That's God. That God's going to show up. And she did. And they have had a marvelous time ever since, because they're talking to a different part of each other. And finally, if God had told me, remember to look through love-colored glasses at everything. Not just rose-colored, but love-colored. Because if the very first thing I see in you is based in love. We've all heard about that first 5 minutes when you meet somebody and all of a sudden you've got you kind of sized up within yourself. I like them, don't I like them? We go to meet people, it's kind of like, if you are a little bit more like me, I just might be your friend. No. Start with the love. Put on the love-colored glasses and look at everyone equally that way. And you'll bring the God out in each other. I truly believe if that was the only thing we had to do, one job only, help you bring out the God in you. That's all. What a different world it would be. And I've got a tiny little quote at the bottom here that was written anonymously, but I found it and I thought, gee, this is neat. Our lives are not determined by what happens to us, but by how we react to what happens. Not by what life brings to us, but by the attitude that we bring to life. A positive attitude causes a chain reaction of positive thoughts, events, and outcomes. It is a catalyst, a spark that creates extraordinary results. Love life, and it will love you back. Thank you.
Wasn't that just an absolute wonderful service? And I was just thinking while I was sitting here, Jeannie, that you haven't been at the last 3 or 4 services here, because you have other things to do at other churches and things. But if we were to take them off the internet, take the last 3 or 4 services, it's like a continuing saga that's going on here. So I'm almost thinking that maybe I will take that 15-minute segment and I'm going to put a disc out that has 15-minute segments of different speakers, and people can take that home for get that back in their life through the week. So it sounds like a good idea to me. God's working in wonderful ways here. And so there are no coincidences. We know God isn't. Yeah, it's all God isn't. We thank Jeannie for being one of the wonderful speakers that we do have from the chapel. We are very fortunate because whenever we ask very good people to come to this chapel, they always say yes. And they after later think to themselves, why did I say yes? But God has been working in their heart and they say yes. And here we have a good example. So thank you, Jeannie. That was wonderful. You know, we are a healing ministry here, first of all. We do have an area at the back that if anybody would like hands-on healing, we have facilitators that will go to the back during the meditation and do hands-on healing with you. There is a bowl back there for putting absent healing in. Our healing facilitators every day do healing. I know I was talking to somebody yesterday, they said, every day? I said, yes, every day. We do it independently and visualize that bowl and send the healing and reinforce what goes on. And to all of you, we send love and healing. So while we're working with the healing, just let it go through you and pass that to all the great, wonderful people out there. And you can go to the back and have hands-on healing. Find a comfortable position and take your thoughts inward and upward to a little spot in the universe where God resides and healing begins. Allow the energy to move through the tips of your toes, moving upwards, whirling round and round the body. And allow it to come up through the top of the head and flow over the body like a gentle summer rain. As you breathe in again, feel the energy bringing alive all the cells in the body that work together with all of the organs. And allow those organs to be like a wonderful symphony concert orchestra that play their instruments independently, but they play with such harmony and such rhythm that they are working for the whole beauty of the piece they are playing. And as you breathe the energy in and revitalize all of the energies in the body, in the cells, in the organs, know that you are doing that to bring healing to the whole. And as the energy comes in again through the tips of the toes, allow it to expand into the mind. Let the mind open and be receptive. Let the mind be positive and be healthy, so that it may touch the dreams, the ideas that God has to make you all that you can be. Allow those dreams, those thoughts, those energies to come through the mind to healthy growth, so that they will grow and produce the dream that God has for you. Breathing in again, allow yourself to come in touch with the Spirit, that part of yourself that is always perfect. And allow the Spirit to communicate to the mind and the body what it needs for this journey that it is having in this physical existence. And as you have healed your own self, body, mind, and spirit, be like a pebble in a great pond of energy, and allow your energy to move forward and ripple outward, and let it touch each member in the room. And joining together, allowing the energy to draw through everyone to facilitate the healing. Taking a deep breath now, think about outside of this room into the community of your family, the community around you, of your teachers and your leaders, and allow that energy to ripple out and touch all of them, so that they too may experience the wonderful healing, the wonderful peace. Allow that energy now to go forward into the world, and not only touch the world's leaders, but to touch the animals, the vegetation, the waters, the atmosphere, so that they may be healed. And let us be thankful to the animals and the vegetation and the minerals that give of themselves and serve us so greatly and feed us so well. Allow us now to reach out into the universe, into other parts of the universe that we are not familiar with, or many mansions in God's world that we are not aware of every room in every mansion. But we send love and we send caring, for God promises us that love and healing is never ending. And all we need to do is ask, and the energy will follow the intention of the thought, and the healing will begin.
as we circle back to the seat of the soul, take a few moments just to sit quietly before you come back to your everyday, workaday world, to enjoy the tranquility and the peace of the healing area of your garden, the inner garden of healing. And know that you may visit here at any time. And God has promised the love and the healing is never ending. So open your hearts, your mind and your hand. God bless you, and He sends His angels to keep after you. Thank you for healing facilitators and the angels from the other side that bring that love of God through you to help you heal your body. We know that where one prayer is put forward, as we add each prayer to it, it goes 10 times, 10 times, 10 times until it's in infinity. And the more people that can pray for someone who's in need, the better the chance of the healing energy causing them to activate that healing self so that they heal their own body. At the moment, I would like to also ask you to keep in mind and keep in your prayers Yvonne, now I'll have to say it properly, Cola Santani. Yvonne is pretty much known by Yvonne, has been a reader, has been a person who has given a lot of energy throughout the years, helped with many of the churches and raising funds. She's very ill in hospital right now, needs a lot of help. Not only does she need some prayers and some healing that go every day, but we as a community need to give her some support financially over the next few months so she does not have an ongoing worry. So we're asking anybody who wants to donate towards a fund to try to give her a little cushion for when she gets out of the hospital so she doesn't have to worry about getting right back to work. Could do that by putting a check made out to us, but on the body of the check, put Yvonne's Angel Fund. And we will make sure that that goes to Yvonne. We will not include the amounts that are given, but we will include everybody's name who has given and every organization and church that are going together. Now, they've already, through the ISA, have already started something going for her, but we're asking for us to carry it on through the community. If you know anybody in the spiritual community, do tell them if they don't want to do it individually to get a hold of us, and we will make sure that that gets to Yvonne, and that we also are going to need some of our angels on the run when she gets home. She has no one at home, no family. She does have a few good friends, but there's nobody to help her over the first month that she's going to be home getting things done. Right now she's still on dialysis, and she's hoping after the next dialysis treatment that by Wednesday she might get home, but that's going to be in a weakened condition. So anybody who wants to know any more about that, please come and talk to me about it. Also, the other announcements are more cheerful announcements that we do have, and one of them is that we're having our big bazaar a week from next Saturday. So everybody remember, that's crept up really quickly. And definitely if you have any family with children in it or have any friends that have family with children, get them to come out on the 17th to the hall here between 10 and 4. We're going to have a magician and also sing along with Rosemary Phillips, which anybody who was here when she had performed here before will definitely want to be here, both children from 1 to 101. We do have a great entertainment. George Cook, Magic for Children, all free for the kids. The only thing they have to do is buy their munchies. So be prepared to get your pocketbook out for some munchies, because I'm sure they're going to want to munch along. And as far as I know, First United Spiritualist Church is going to loan us their popcorn machine. So we're going to have popcorn and hot dogs and all kinds of really good things going on.
I have a hot dog deal.
Do you? Whoa. We would love that. That would really save our people a lot of work in the kitchen. And we need volunteers. So if you know how to operate that, maybe we can con you into coming on the Saturday to help us operate it. Is that a good idea? Oh, thanks so much. You have no idea how the volunteers and the people in this community are really building this chapel. And it is a joy to Ozzy and I to watch the chapel growing and to see all these social things that we're putting on being followed so well. We are going to hopefully send a mail walk for 2 blocks around the church with flyers. But if you would help us out, grab some of the flyers, the ones you have in your folder, and also some of the ones that are in this on the table there, and maybe if anybody knows anybody that would put some up in their window of their stores, certainly we would love that around the White Rock area and South Surrey. So that's the big thing that's coming up. And of course, the following Sunday after that, Rosemary's going to stay here and do her talking and singing to heaven. So the service will be held, but instead will be done a little differently. We'll do the opening, and then she'll go down there with her guitar, play music, give medium messages throughout the service. And it is fantastic. The last time she came, people did not want to go home. I really should have booked the hall for an extra 2 hours. But she's going to do that and then get right on the ferry and go back over to the island afterwards. So thanks to Rosemary for coming and giving all of this for this Saturday and for the Sunday to help the chapel. So, and I know that you'll enjoy George Cook. Some of the stuff I find that the adults are just as excited as the kids, like, how does he do that? So it's going to be really good. Now, what else we got going on next week is Mother's Day. This is going to be another big service. You know how we did the candle lighting when we did the Remembrance Day, or not the Remembrance Day, but what we called our Memory Sunday, when we loved ones and we lit a candle for them. We're going to light candles again for the mothers. And so anybody who's had a mother, mother-in-law, grandmother, and mentors, because I have a lot of people who mentored me through my life, and I would like to light candles for them. So we're going to have that, and I will take the service, and we will have participation, good music, and a lot of good things going on. So that's what's happening next Sunday. So try to bring Mother to Mother's Day, and then take her out to dinner or lunch or whatever you're going to do. So that'd be great. So there you go. We've got that coming up. For some reason or other, now I know why my music wasn't correct. I've got the wrong flyer here. Jeannie, do you have the flyer on the right one? If I got yours, well, maybe you got the wrong flyer. I hope we didn't give it to everybody. Oh, here it is. We got the right one. Okay, no, I think yours is in the song. You have got the right one. No wonder I had the wrong music. So there we go. We have next week, we have the Mother's Day, and the following week after that, as I said, will be Rosemary Phillips. So now we'd like to ask, are there any birthdays or any anniversaries out here? Aha. Richard, did you not say that there's an anniversary of when you met coming up?
When we were married.
Ah, how many years have you been married? 58?
Only 58, yeah.
58 years. So we'll sing to these people that have long tolerance for each other.
That'd be good.
chapel. Number 21 is our offering song. Just stand up. Oh, sorry. I'd like to thank Derrick too. He brought in a really nice blanket that we're starting to start gathering things from time to time. Good blankets or whatever for the homeless. If you knit us some toques and some knits and stuff like that, or socks. Anything that's going to go, we're going to try to keep being part of the community. We are on that board, on that symposium with the interfaith group that is trying to help with homeless in this area. Okay, and thank you so much for that, Derrick. We would like now to go with the fun part of this, the part that maybe all the churches don't have, but it all comes from God. So Jeannie's going to come up here, and we're going to have mediumship, right? Big girl, go for it.
Okay. Grace, can I come to you? Good morning. Good morning. Great to see you. Thank you. What I want to tell you is that over the next 3 months, now where are we? We're at May, June, July, August. This is a really exciting, energy-packed time for you. Going somewhere?
Not that I know of.
Well, it's like when I connect with your energy, I feel like so excited. I feel like this next 90 days, 3 months, starting right this very minute, it's like a shift takes place. You know, it's many times in our lives, the universe lifts us up, because if we didn't get lifted up, we'd all be in the park on the swings. You're getting lifted up. You're getting lifted up to a place where you finally you're going to feel like, wow. What a marvelous world. It's going to appear different. It's going to feel different. It's going to be different. So I wanted to bring you that as I was sitting over there and I kept getting back into your energy and thinking, you're going to be so happy to hear this.
Excellent.
I know. And by the time that 90 days is over, it's like you take a shift. You just take a different step, either sideways or forward or whatever it is. And it opens, and they're showing me now like 4 doors. Everything just gets open like that. So this is a very good time for you, an incredibly good time for you. So I had to give you that, okay?
Thank you.
The energy is beautiful. I'll leave that with you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And I want to come over to the lady, very blonde, in the cream puff. Hi, good morning. I have a lady in spirit with you, okay? And just a moment. I'm going down Mom's side here, and I'm going either to grandmother or to, it's interesting, once I get to the grandmother energy for you, I get this great big yes. Is grandma in spirit? Yeah. This lady has got an energy that's action-packed. Do you know of which grandma I'm talking about here? She's like totally action-packed. And this is a lady that had a lot of gifts. You know, she almost had like she says in my younger days, she had like a photogenic memory. She could tell you what color shoes somebody wore at a party 6 months ago. Is that like her?
Yeah.
Okay, good. You're making some decisions right now in your life. And what she's saying here is she wants you to just, she said you have a tendency sometimes to go far down the road and get way out there somewhere when you really need to bring your energy back and take one step at a time. You know where you're going. Even though sometimes it thinks, well, you've got too many decisions to make, in the big picture, you know what direction that you're going, okay? The only time you get confused is when you get too far away from yourself, okay? So she wants you to come back, just relax. And she says, breathe. She said, you don't breathe. Sometimes you get tight up in here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's like there's a whole energy that gets blocked in here because you're, you know, just breathe. Come back into the moment. Just a moment. There's something here. Just a moment. She had a dog. Do you know anything about that? Because I don't know why it's important that she holds up this
I
dog.
know there is a dog with my mom and my grandma. I'm not quite sure which dog it
Okay,
is.
this picture here is like, it's got curly hair. It's like bubbly kind of curly hair close to the body, bubbly. Do you know which one?
No.
Okay. Now this is her favorite animal. So this animal's passed. This animal's definitely passed. And she's showing me that it's with her. And it's kind of gray and black and got some white specks in it. Have you seen that dog?
No.
Okay. This could be a dog that she had when she was a child. This could have been, but this is her favorite. This is her favorite, she said. Okay, just a moment. She shows me the number 4, and I don't know why, but it's important. Okay? And sometimes when you get a symbol like that, or a message like that, watch for that. And not try to make it, oh, well, there's 4 of those, and I'll just fit that together in my head, and that's what it'll be, not like that. This will be very, very clear. When you take a step and you go to a door and you're knocking on it, and the door's got number 4 on it, that's a lot closer to what I'm saying here. Okay, it's important for you, the number 4. Okay. Now, and before I let this lady go, she really wants me to say to you one more time, one step at a time. Don't live your life too fast, because it'll be over before you know it. And just feel the juice in the moment. You've got a ton of, she says, you're really gifted. So know that and say, thanks God for all the good stuff you gave me before I got here. And just relax and breathe. Okay, I'll leave that with you. Now I want to go to the lady right there in the back with the hot dog machine. Good morning. Okay, just a moment here. All right, now the energy that's connecting with you here is like almost, is there a doctor in the family? This is somebody who feels like they got all sorts of advice for doctoring. They got all sorts of advice for telling you what to take, what pill, when, and all that stuff.
I can't place
Okay.
a doctor.
Well, the energy that's with you is this energy.
Okay.
And if you cannot relate to who this is, then I'm going to go to the message that comes along with this, right? And I keep going to the top of your back. You have any problems with your back?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Now, what he's showing me here, and it feels very much like a male energy. What he's showing me is that you're kind of out of whack. Did you have an accident or something?
Yes.
Yeah, like you're twisted.
February 17th, yeah.
You're not in alignment, okay? Just not. Well, you got to be aware of it. You're going to be just fine, but you've got to be aware of it. And you've got to, I don't know what the word is, compensate for it, but stop carrying stuff like this.
Okay.
Okay, and there's right up at that back part, Yeah, right up in there. There's a stress and the strain there, and they're also telling me get another pillow. Do you find at night you're like shuffling, punching the pillow, and all of that? I don't know how long you've had that pillow, but it's not helping your head.
Okay.
Okay? This is an interesting energy. This gentleman, it's like he walks around and does this. Okay, just a moment. Okay, now, with that, it goes all the way down here, and it goes down into the bottom of your leg, and you're going to start, have you noticed that every once in a while you get this kind of a ping? It connects, everything's connected to that jawbone and
Okay.
stuff, right? Okay, and that's why with you being out of whack like that, it's almost like you're sideways and twisted. Have you looked at that?
No.
Okay, well, it's important for you to know it now. You're going to be fine, but it's wonderful that Spirit can bring that awareness to us sometimes and go, wow, all right, now I'm going to pay attention to that and work with that. One thing before he goes, just a moment. He says that you are such a loving person. It's like since the moment you arrived on this planet, you just bubble around with love. So never ever change that for anyone or to worry that it isn't. He says, don't worry that it's never enough. There's this idea sometimes you have that it's just not enough. You don't give enough, you don't do enough. You're perfect just the way you are. Keep that love open in your heart, honey, because you are such a gift to the people that are around you. You're welcome. And I just want to go over here for a moment. Can I come to the lady in the green? Good morning. Yes. May I? Hi. Something very, very quickly here for you. You have like a team. You have like a team around you. The lines through your family, the connections through your family, you have a lot of people in a lot of different areas. Is that right? There's people kind of all over the place if you take your generations. There's a lot of people in your family that are very, very connected to each other in many different ways. You're a very brilliant woman. I'm told here, just a moment. I have a lady here in spirit who is very quiet. And it's almost like as I'm asking her to say something, it's like all she can do to speak because her nature never was like that. Okay. What she wants to tell you here is that you are a very integral part of the family unit. Okay, even though you may not see it that way. Do you have any family here with you? Yeah? You are a core piece of what's very, very important to your family. And this lady is a part of your family. This lady has been gone for at least 3 generations. She goes all the way back to mid-1800s. But it's a timeless, existence that we have. She wants you to know you are key in the family. And the more that you step forward and offer to the children, offer to those that need to talk. She wasn't able to talk, and every time she comes in here and the energy is here, I feel like I want to hold my mouth. And if that's applying to you, and I feel that it is, she wants you to talk and teach the children and teach the family things that they need to hear. And it's not about details, it's about love and connection and family and supporting each other. Okay? This is a lovely woman who is in your history. She's in your genetics. And she's part of your life. And she always will be as long as you're here on the plane. Okay? So I want to leave that to you just so that you know that you're very important. In the people that you're with, very important. Okay? So we'll leave that with you.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you, Jeannie.
Barb, that was just wonderful. We had just a fantastic service. We are going to have coffee and goodies, and tea and water, or whatever you like after the service. We ask that some of the people who have a little more energy and a lot of strength could help us pile the chairs on and help us get everything to the back that we took out. And in the meantime, we would like you to turn to God Be With You, number 8. And Jeannie, if you would say a closing prayer, and then we'll go in a circle and sing our closing.
Great Spirit, we thank you for thinking in our hearts for this opportunity to come together on our spiritual paths to assist each other to grow and to expand and to be everything that we can be. We ask your assistance to help us help one another to bring up the God within us, knowing that each step of the way as we bring our light brighter and brighter each day, we affect everyone in our path, in our homes, in our communities, and in our world. Thank you so much for never ever leaving us, and guide us as we leave this place today, so that we can walk in peace and in harmony and in joy. Amen.
Thank you, Jeannie, and thank you to Jean Thomas, who is our Minister of Music this morning. Thank you.